This one, you don't have like your effect volume, you just have the effect. The circuit itself was designed to be used with voices. You sing in it, or you're supposed to, like parts of mixers, karaoke machines. It's like a small part of a bigger thing it's meant to be. I didn't know that when I bought it, so it needs some kind of like exciter amp kind of thing in front of it. So let me see if I can find it. So I made this. It's kind of a distortion pedal or a fuzz that I use like DIY amp parts. I used a chip called an LM386. It's an amplifier chip. I have tons of those. Like, I like running two of them together to make an even crazier fuzz than this sounds. I had to put this essentially inside of that in front of it, because if you didn't have like a hardcore boost, like, hold on, actually, let me show you this. So this was my first model of it that I did. Was my test model. I don't know why it took the effort to make it look as okay-ish as it does, since it was like a test. I'll show you something. When I turn off my boost or anything, this is what the pedal's volume does. So this is my like normal tone, right? And I'll put it on, most of these are halls until you get like hall reverbs until you get to 26, and that's when you hit spring. And this was a problem for me. Just like super quiet and doesn't match like my normal volume, like my bypassed volume. See what I'm saying? And that bothered me insanely. Like, I hated that. So then I made this. It's not a finished product. Like, I'm still working on this version of the reverb. I'm trying to make it sound cleaner and better and all this other stuff. I don't even, okay, actually I'll turn the boost off. So, you know, that was spring. I showed you, what was it, 26? It'll match the volume now. Or it gets pretty close, but because this little amp thing is in front of it, it kind of sounds like boxier to me, or it's a little tiny bit distorted because it's a loud mini amp circuit. For what it is, it's like super loud. I had to put like the inside, there's like a pot that you adjust with a little miniature screwdriver, and you can adjust the gain. So technically this could be a fuzz pedal if you wanted it to, like a multi-effects fuzz pedal. I wouldn't recommend doing that. The volume would be crazy loud. But where I have it set is almost at line level, but since I always use a boost or typically a distortion in front of it, well, not a distortion, like some overdrive or boost. I like overdrives and boosts. Since, you know, I put that in front of it, it's a little quieter, but then my line, like, it's a little quieter, but it's a darker sounding reverb than this sounds. It's not as I guess hi-fi. It makes it kind of lower fidelity, and it doesn't make it unusable, but I'm trying to find a way to better do it. Like I said, this one has a list. When you hit like 30, I think, that's your reverse. And like the other pedal, when you go to further settings, like if I go to 34, that's still reverse, but your attack from your original hit is not there because your dry signal is kind of going away. Well, my dry signal's still kind of there, but I like 39. That's when you can't hear the dry signal in your reverse. After you reverse it, I think 40's early reflection, which is an interesting and cool reverb. I wish it was cleaner, but again, this is kind of like I consider it kind of like a prototype, I guess. Like, I'm still working out kinks and stuff, still figuring this one out, the one knob. The other one has like the two knobs. Eventually I'm going to add more to them, but it does all sorts of stuff. I think at 50 it gets to delay. That might be echo. There is no dry note. Like when I hit it, This is why I think a dry blend would benefit this. So after 50s, when you hit your 60s, you just have modulation without any kind of reverb. So I think that's a phaser. I think the first modulations were choruses. Now I'm on phaser. The 70s. See, we've hit a vibrato, and that's something the other one doesn't have any kind of variation of. So we're back to bass-like sounds. So I think this is a chorus with the reverb. That's what it sounds like to me. I like that setting, and I did not know that till now. So that's either reverse or early reflection with the delay. This one is like a pitch delay type thing. That's essentially the rest of this thing. There are some cool sounds there. Some of them are, you know, just sound kind of dirty, and I kind of blame the fact that I had to put a little mini amp in front of it. Look at that, I found a trim I didn't know existed on it. See, I'm figuring out things about it all the time. Look at that, look at that. It's a pretty cool looking pedal. I thought that was a neat touch. So that's the two pedals that I built that you see pretty frequently on here. There's a couple other ones I use pretty frequently too. That's a one knob chorus. On the inside there's a pot that you can adjust the rate, and then this is a mix. You can also bypass it by that little click you hear right there. It's the same as pushing this pretty much. And that seems like kind of redundant, but when I use synths and stuff, like I'm using my hands to twist stuff, so it's just like that just feels more natural to me. Another pedal I use pretty frequently, the MXR Distortion Plus clone. I use this delay quite a bit. It's a really simple delay, but it's neat. Sounds good. That is this, and that explains what they are and how to use them.